What community or need do you want to protect? What kindling can you add to this fire? Whether you pick up trash after an event, make scripts for people to call, provide transportation, create art for events, or help people register to vote, all of it feeds the flame of resistance. The work we do after this protest will ensure that our flame swells and burns so brightly that no regime, no authority, no power can smother it. So, if you want to nurture that flame of resistance, consider joining our operations teams or one of our issue teams. We currently have teams focused on supporting our Indigenous neighbors, our LGBTQ neighbors, and our immigrant communities. And we would love if any of you are, have passions of your own regarding, environmental concerns or anything specific to you, let us know and come and join and bring that work to us. And when it comes to action, we have a few things at Indivisible that you can do. At our Indivisible table, you can sign up actually for our newsletter. This has immediate action that you can take. It's super condensed. You have local, state, and national actions that you can take. So if you go to our table, you can scan the QR code and sign up for that newsletter. We are also taking petitions to fight back against T-Mobile. As you guys know, with the connections to Elon and all of the corruption that's involved with that. And then at my table, I am collecting signatures, a pledge to decline to sign 2 initiatives by Brian Haywood that would harm cisgender and transgender students and force them to go through medical exams to prove their gender just to play sports. Boo! Mega boo! And then the second one would end confidential counseling for all students. So if you would like to pledge, please meet me over at that table as well to sign. And I'm also taking donations for a much needed fund in our community. It is to support our transgender neighbors. PFLAG has a fund where they actually help people access gender affirming care. So you can come over and donate to that as well. So that is all that I have. Thank you guys. And up next, we have Troublemakers. I don't know if the speaker is Deb. I don't know. Troublemakers, yeah. Thank you guys.
Hi, I'm Debbie, and I'm a troublemaker. It sounds like I have an activism problem. My husband would agree I need to join a 12-step group. Well, Troublemakers started inspired by a saying from the great civil rights leader John Lewis. He's known for saying something like, if you see something that's unfair, it's just not right, or unjust, you have to speak up. Get in good trouble, necessary trouble, and help redeem the soul of America. That was a very long time ago, but I think it's even more important now. And that is what Troublemakers is all about. We aim to make good trouble. Trouble that challenges white supremacy, oppression, and injustice. Trouble that resists this authoritarian regime and confronts ICE raids and the National Guard in our communities. Yeah! Trouble that challenges a system that for decades has concentrated wealth and power in the hands of a few, leaving millions of people unable to even survive and have basic needs like shelter and food. Yeah! So, are you a troublemaker? Yeah! Are you a troublemaker? Yeah! You don't have to do it alone. Bellingham Troublemakers aims to create a community of nonviolent activists that can count on each other. We empower each other to find our strengths and use our voices. We collaborate, We support and encourage each other when things get hard. Are you willing to stand up and fight for justice for all people, even people that aren't like you? Raise your hands and make some noise if you will stand up for democracy and the rule of law. Raise your hand if you're willing to fight for science and truth. Are you willing to fight for women's rights to choose, Black and brown liberation, and trans rights? And finally, are you willing and able to stand up and fight for yourself, your community, and this country that we all love so much? I hope you'll join us, because we need everybody. The power of the people is so much greater than the people in power.
And next up, I'm inviting Taylor and Celine.
Action train, this train of endless cars, I've got to know something. I've just got to know. Are you angry? Yeah. Are you afraid? No. Are you paying attention? Yeah. Are you? They are disappearing Americans off of the streets and putting them into camps, into foreign torture prisons. They have identified my community as terrorists. They are destroying our wilderness and selling it to investors during an ongoing government shutdown. Are you angry? Don't let your legacy be inaction. Wake up and act now and keep acting. We all have a part to play every single day, not when it's convenient, when it's necessary. And I ask you to go home and every single night you look in that mirror and you ask those eyes, have I done enough? Did I fight back? And I want to hear it now, so we're going to chant. And I want you to mean the words that you say. I want you to think about them and make it a promise. So I'll tell you what we're fighting for, and you tell me, I will fight for my country. I will fight for all people. I will fight for those in need. I will fight for our future. I will fight for our forests. I will fight for our freedom. I will fight. Will you fight? Say it again. Say it again. You say it and you keep saying it. And you remember, when we fight together, none of us stands alone. Now, the first group I want to talk to you about is the queer community. And now this is one of many. There are people being killed in Palestine, being starved. There are people who can't live in this country even with legal documentation. There are people who are being hung from trees because of the color of their skin. But the first group I'm going to talk about right now is trans survival. Among the many queer organizations that live here in Bellingham, Trans Survival is one that focuses on the explicit targeting transgender people are experiencing. Their mission is to help our community survive. That is all we want, to survive. And right now, because of how brutal the administration has become, we have had to prioritize just mutual aid. But that's not something small. The way that we connect to each other is the strongest connection that we keep. And rehousing and connecting trans refugees is the first step towards a truly thriving trans community. Every day we fight tooth and nail to be here for each other because our options are running out. So we need you. I'm saying I need you. I need all of you. There's an info table and there's plenty of resources, but you can help by building relationships with real people, real community members in this city. You can show up to protest, show up to City Hall, write and call your representatives. I'm begging you. Unite yourselves with us, and we will all be stronger together. Now, for the next car in this train, I'm going to turn it over to Taylor.
Hello. Hi, the next organization that I'd like to talk about is Community to Community Development, or C2C. Probably heard of them, I hope so. They are a women of color and farm worker-led organization who work to redefine power in order to end structural racism and all of its manifestations. They work towards solidarity, economy, and a just transition. Right now, they're currently working to connect folks with their members of Congress in order to oppose the H-2A visa program and Farm Workforce Modernization Act. The Farm Workforce Modernization Act threatens to displace local farmers in Whatcom and Skagit County with workers from other countries who are regularly being abused and exploited by their employees. Please go and check them out.
The next table we want to talk about is the 40th and 42nd legislative districts and Whatcom Democrats. This is the official Democratic Party organization operating within Whatcom County. They work to elect Democratic candidates, ones who will actually uphold the Constitution and the rule of law. They campaign to elect local Democratic candidates that oppose an authoritarian regime at the federal level. We have to stand up for our rights, the safety of our communities, and all government services on which we depend. So volunteer. You can doorbell, you can phone bank, you can postcard to the local authorities. This Sunday, tomorrow, October 19th, join the Door Bellingham event and get started.
Next up is the Sierra Club that represents San Juan, Skagit, and Whatcom counties. Yeah, whose local goals are to protect the planet that we love to explore and enjoy through land preservation, wildlife protection, water quality, and local political endorsements. Today is their final collection on signatures on petitions encouraging our senators and Representative Larson to do everything in their power to prevent the loss of our public lands. Please, please go sign that petition today.
In the face of injustice, inequality reigns, and we will not let it continue. One of the greatest disparities that we are starting to experience is around all people, and it starts in gender politics. It's for queer people, but it's also for women in this country. And abortion is a right. It is a right. It is your body. It is your choice. So I want to tell you about the Planned Parenthood advocates of Greater Washington and North Idaho. This is an independent, nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that educates residents and policymakers about the reproductive health issues in Washington and in Idaho. Now, right now, they're canvassing. They're using phone banks. They're going in person. They're door knocking, but they're doing it alone. They need you. So go sign up. Contribute to their events. The first one I'm going to tell you about, you get ready, October 23rd, 6 to 8 p.m. You can help phone bank. 3 days later, October 26th, you can help them door knock, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The rights of women are interlinked with the rights of all, and we cannot let these rights be overlooked.
Thank you for the Cheez-Its. Let's hear it for the Cheez-Its. Next is Bellingham, Our Revolution. They're providing information on actions folks can take right now to support universal health care, livable wages, fair elections, and taxing the rich. They're electing progressives up and down the ticket, advocating for progressive causes, promoting fair elections and voting rights for all citizens without intimidation. They have material at their table for ongoing actions that you can participate in.
What's the name of this protest? What is it? I'm sorry, what is it? No Kings! Now, we've got a government that is not just run by one man, but that one man is the face of something so very dark. At worst, he is a corrupt king. At best, he is an illegitimate president. So I want to tell you about the Eric Bowen or 14-3 project. They seek to publicize the legal fact that under the constitutional amendment 14-3, Donald Trump is not legally the president. This project aims to empower and embolden government officials, law enforcement, the military, and you guessed it, the general public to defy orders of Mr. Trump and ultimately demand his removal from office on constitutional grounds. The 14-3 project is producing flyers for distribution, and they aim to launch mailing campaigns, plan to provide speakers at public rallies, and you can help. You can distribute. You can post flyers. You can write letters to the officials and promote this message that we do not live in a country under a king. No kings! Yeah?
I don't either. You're really wearing on me. And I'm a fan.
The next organization is Fair Vote Washington. They're here to create a representative democracy that works for all. And they're currently working to get the Washington Voices Act passed and build community power to create a stronger democracy through ranked choice voting here in Washington. You can sign up for volunteer opportunities, attend FVWA events, and join Lobby Day in January at their booth.
We all risk something by being out here. Some of us risk more than others. I'm risking a lot to be on this stage as a transgender woman with a public face. And the reason that I'm risking that is so that I can defend my country. I'm a patriot who loves this country and the people in it, and I will die fighting so that you can live the best life possible. And that's not gonna happen if we don't do anything. It's only gonna happen if we work together, if we listen to each other and listen to those in need. Listen to those who can't speak for themselves because they're risking everything. And I'm asking you to risk just a little bit more. But all of this won't mean a gosh darn thing if we don't have an earth to come back to, if we don't have water to drink, if we don't have air to breathe, if we don't have trees to live with. So I want to tell you about the Bellingham Extinction Rebellion. Their mission is simple: a habitable planet for all. They are promoting carbon sequestering strategies such as bamboo, hemp, vertical farming for maximum benefits. They focus hugoculture, water retention, and so much more. They seek reductions in our carbon footprint locally, nationally, and worldwide, as climate knows no borders. They also promote alternative energy and strategies for less carbon usage. You can help. Use their links, use their resources, use the strategies that they know and that we can learn to minimize food insecurities which climate extremes will exacerbate. We must work locally to do what we can, to think about our national and worldwide climate before the chance is gone.
The last organization that I'll be talking about is Resources. Resources mobilizes people in the Northwest Washington to build just and thriving communities. They're working currently on exploring with the city of Bellingham the future of wastewater management. Please go and sign up for their legislative action team in preparation for making your voice heard around bills that will have effects on our climate, water, pollution, and more.
The last group I get to tell you about is Community First Whatcom. They champion solutions that make Whatcom County work better for everyone. They've successfully campaigned to raise wages for workers and protect renters, turning community power into tangible results that improve everyday lives for everybody. They are working on Bellingham Initiative 2503 and Ferndale Initiative 2501. Both are community-led initiatives that strengthen renters' rights in Whatcom County, either through banning excessive and unfair fees or through bolstering tenants' rights to organize. Go stop by their table, learn more, and join in the initiative. Join the email list, sign up for a volunteership, help register our neighbors to vote, and go vote. Every single one of you, go vote. If you don't have access to it, they can help you get signed up. They can point you in the right direction, but it is crucial that in the face of democratic annihilation, you use your given inalienable right to vote. We're here, already here. You already did the work, you made the signs, you walked out, you're standing here in the rain, side by side, you've shaken hands, you've looked at each other. We're in the same boat together. And I'm here to tell you that this is not a performance. This is not a hobby. This is not something to seek when it's convenient. It's not a calculus or an equation. This is a commitment. And we all must commit. Our nation and her descendants depend on you. The battle for America's future has begun, and it will include you. Whether or not you act, it will include you. We need everyone to find their role in organizing. We need you desperately. Do not let this gathering be your only contribution. Let it be what guides you to an ongoing relationship with advocacy. Whether you follow up with an org here or start your own, the most powerful ally we have, the greatest strength that we keep, is each other. Get to know your neighbors, for authoritarianism thrives on separation. We must depend on one another or risk failing alone, and you must make yourself dependable. I ask, can you be depended on? Then prepare and take action. Plan ahead for protests. Boycott and direct action works, but it only works if we do it consistently. This is a test of your resolve. and organizing will see you through. You need nothing but your passion. But this train is built on many cars, and I hope that it continues with you. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. I can't hear you. The people united will never be defeated. What's that? The people united will never be defeated. Say it. The people united will never be defeated. Free Palestine and free America.
That's a lot of actions. Who's ready to take one today? One action that I would like to point out is that, Gabriel, your ID and a credit card are currently at the Indivisible tent. While you're there, you can definitely also make a donation to Planned Parenthood with that credit card, or to C2C or any of the other amazing organizations off to the side of the park. I am so excited to name a few things right now. I know that we are not fair weather protesters here in Bellingham. Yeah, we are the type of people that are like, yes, we wore layers, we got a down coat, we have our umbrellas. Actually, this is the most umbrellas I think I've ever seen in Bellingham. We also are the type of people where inflatables are here embracing the warmth of their like air insulation. Other things I noticed while I was here listening, I saw a Straw Hats flag in the back. And only some people in the audience will know what that is, but I know you feel me in my heart when I say we love Luffy. The other thing I would love to say is that I saw some Peacekeepers Naruto running. These jokes are just for the weebs, my people. And the next thing I would love to share is that we have another folk singer with us. For the last half a decade, this wonderful human being has been traveling across the great state of Washington. This wonderful human being is here to channel the great ghost of Woody Guthrie. This wonderful person here is channeling a ghost. And some of us may be investing our resources in our local Etsy witch economy. And sometimes we do need an Etsy witch, and sometimes we need someone to just bring a ghost from the past to remind us of how we got here. And with that, I would love to introduce Cascade Cody.
Hello, Bellingham. It's good to be here, good to be here. I'm so happy to see so many faces out there just here to do amazing work and get into some good trouble. You know, these guys, they put a lot of effort into all of their terrible hatred that they spread. But in the 30s, the good man Woody Guthrie, he wrote a song, and we know what that message is, and it hasn't changed since then, has it? So we're going to have a little practice for a sing-along here. Why don't you sing it with me? All you fascists are bound to lose. Come on! All you fascists are bound to lose. All you fascists are bound to lose. You're bound to lose, you're bound to lose, you're bound to lose. Oh, I'm gonna tell you fascists, oh, you might be surprised. People of this world, they are getting organized. You're bound to lose. All you fascists are bound to lose. Come on now. And I said, all you fascists are bound to lose. Oh, all you fascists are bound to lose. Yeah, all you fascists are bound to lose. You're bound to lose, you're bound to lose, you're bound to lose. Oh, people from every nation, they're marching side by side. And they're marching on that field where 1 million fascists died. You're bound to lose. All you fascists are bound to lose. Come on now. And I said, all you fascists are bound to lose. Oh, all you fascists are bound to lose. All you fascists are bound to lose. you're bound to lose. All you fascists are bound to lose. You're bound to lose, you're bound to lose, you're bound to lose. Yeah, I'm here to tell you fascists, oh, I'm gonna let you know, your hate and greed and genocide and Jim Crow got to go, you're bound to lose. All you fascists are bound to lose. Come on, one more time now. I said all you fascists are bound to lose. Come on, all you fascists are bound to lose. One more time. All you fascists are bound to lose. You're bound to lose, you're bound to lose, you're bound to lose. You're bound to lose, you're bound to lose, you're bound to lose. You're bound to lose, you're bound to lose, you're bound to lose. Thank you guys so much. And thank Woody Guthrie. And even when they win, they lose, but they're not going to win. All you fascists are bound to lose. Love you, Bellingham.
All right, my friends. We have our last speaker, but that is not the end of this program. Why? Because Bellingham is not a group of fair weather protesters. I'm looking at you. I see the hats. We're here to stay and we're here to have a good time. But before we get there, we're going to take some time to really think about something beautiful. I have a good friend of mine standing behind me. This man is one of the giants whose shoulders that a lot of us who have been organizing in this community stand upon. And on top of that, he stands beside us. He's the type of person that when he organizes, he leaves room for the next generation to come up with him. He was a stakeholder in the development of the Whatcom Racial Equity Commission, and that is where I've gotten to collaborate with him so much over the years. He is a retired professor, and he is a good friend and a good example of what it means to be a better ancestor. Dr. Vernon Damani Johnson.
Thank you, Sue Lane. I told her just say whatever you want to about me, and I knew it would just be fine. I'm pretty loud. Oh. Fix me up, dog. Okay, is that okay? Is that better? All right. If I get excited, I might bump my head. Hello, Damani Johnson here, and I'm going to try to abbreviate my comments, and given the fact that I was a professional lecturer for a long time, that'll be hard, but a lot of things I was going to say have been touched on already, but I just want to frame it all and talk about the fact that we are the Blue American Nation. We are the Blue American Nation because we believe in democracy. In fact, we believe in multiracial democracy. Trump's nation, the Red Nation, has abandoned democracy. Its architects, the authors of Project 2025, have espoused belief in the constitutional republic, which basically is a way that you can have somehow government that is said to be emanating from the people, but you don't have to have all the people vote. But the one thing that they were clear about is that they didn't want a king either. But they weren't Democrats. We know that in none of the 13 original states could everyone over the age of 18 vote. And we can't forget that the Electoral College was created as a check on majority rule. The founders were afraid of you, the demos. They feared democracy. But once the genie of government by the people and for the people was let out of the bottle, the trajectory of American history took on a life of its own. The Red Nation wants to destroy democracy and the popular movements that we fought so hard to build, even going back to the 19th century. I could have talked about women's reproductive freedom and rights, but we've already heard about that, and there are organizations here, Planned Parenthood and so forth, that are representing that fight. But the Red Nation opposes that, and we are for women's reproductive rights and freedom. The Red Nation objects to LGBTQI rights and gender-affirming care and care for trans and queer people. And we've heard people passionately talk about these issues here today. They oppose that the Blue Nation supports those rights. The Red Nation is against the rights of workers to unionize and bargain with their bosses over the conditions of their work. They deny climate change. Trump has already gutted the staffing of the Environmental Protection Agency. He has halted the disbursement of funds allocated to implement the Inflation Reduction Act, which has significant monies in it that would move us toward a green economy. His policies have the potential to greatly harm the impact of Washington's Climate Commitment Act, the most comprehensive state-level environmental legislation in the country. In essence, the Red Nation represents most the Red Nation represents most of the values that the Blue Nation opposes. But its bedrock principle, the principle that excites its base the most and leaves them salivating, is white nationalism or white supremacy. Red nationalism, traditional American nationalism, is built upon the dispossession of the indigenous people and black slavery. The largest percentage of the Latino population in this country are of Mexican descent. They are mestizo. That means they're part European, but the other part's indigenous. They also were dispossessed in the Mexican War of 1846 to 1848. When Trump rode down the escalator in 2016, he led with build the border wall and stricter immigration policies. His crackdown in major American cities as we speak, and in places where Latino workers are prominent, shows his continuing focus on curtailing the browning of America. Trump has tapped into a deep vein within the white American psyche. The concern by many white people, not all white people, that a country founded by them and only for them will be irretrievable if something drastic doesn't happen. Christian nationalists, anti-gun control fanatics, libertarians, and avowed racists, and some people who just don't think very clearly about race, have forged a coalition intent on terminating the conversation about what it means to be an American. But they know that they are a minority of the population. That's why they're so excited by Trump. He's blatantly subverting long-standing democratic processes. His disciples in Congress and on the Supreme Court remain silent, ignoring the checks on executive power that are at the core of the U.S. Constitution. So as much as they talk about returning to the traditions of the founding era, it is they, of the red American nation, who hate the seminal principle underlying the American idea, that government authority emanates from the people, and that therefore there can be no one-person rule. There can be no dictators, there can be no kings. I want to hear you say that. No kings, no kings, no kings, no kings, no kings. We're going to come back to that. We are believers in the grand American traditions of democratic conversation and checks on personalistic rule. We must not just talk about defending the values of our blue nation, but we must stand up for those values in all the institutional spaces where we can still prevail. This will not be easy, and many people will be hurt as a result. But folks are already being hurt. So we might as well push back and go down swinging. But we're not going out. I'm not really talking about us going down. I'm talking about us swinging. And I'm not talking about in the real violent sense, but I'm talking about using our punch and our juice in the spaces that we occupy in institutions and other places all over this country. my heroes of the day, who are examples of this. All the universities thus far who have refused to sign Trump's compact for academic excellence in higher education. I was going to say Google it if you haven't. A lot of you are already familiar with it. Probably some university folks here. It would end academic freedom and free speech on university campuses. The signatories supposedly would receive preferential funding from the federal government, but a lot of the major Ivy League private institutions have already lost hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funding from the administration, and now if they don't sign this, they could lose more. Kudos to Governor Gavin Newsom of California, who recently said that any public universities in California who sign the compact would lose their state funding. And you know, the state is the one that's responsible for putting the buildings on campus and hiring the faculty and all that, so that's even more core to the university's mission. So good for him, and a number of MIT, Brown, a number of other universities are also not signing that, and this is how you push back. Shout out also to Costco Corporation, Washington's own Costco, who basically told Trump they value diversity and inclusion in the workplace because it's good for business. Shout out also to the Washington, D.C. football team and the Cleveland baseball team, who were pressured by Trump to change their mascots back to the offensive native ones. Neither of them has budged. The Cleveland Guardians announced publicly that they have engaged with their community and invested a lot of effort into the conversations around the change of the name, and they're not going back. Also, to a regional public school superintendent who I won't name here, but who I heard on a panel say, call it what you want, but I don't know how you can be an educator and not recognize that the student body is diverse, that the school culture therefore must be inclusive, and that giving each student a fair shot at an education requires some conception about equity. And the Washington State be moved. I'll start. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing in the water. We shall not be moved. With voices raised together, we shall not be moved. Voices raised together, sing along. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's hanging by the water. We shall not be moved. We're standing up for justice. We shall not be moved. Standing up for justice. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing in the water. We shall not be moved. Honor the indigenous. We shall not be moved. Honor the indigenous. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's swaying in the water. We shall not be moved. Standing with farm workers, we shall not be moved. Standing with farm workers, we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing in the water. We shall not be moved. We're fighting against fascism. We shall not be moved. We're fighting against fascism. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing in the water. We shall not be moved. Trump is a tyrant, we shall not be moved. Trump is a tyrant, we shall not be moved. Just like the tree that's standing in the water, we shall not be moved. Last verse. We're fighting for our future, we shall not be moved. We're fighting for our future, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing in the water, we shall not be moved. Thank you so much. No Kings! And please partake of all of the great organizations that are doing this work, so that we can make sure that when all the dust settles, we ain't moved.
Don't you move, Aunt Damani. Can we get another round of applause for this man? He's so much taller than I am.
I know. Where are your heels?
Friends, here we are. We are on the precipice of something incredibly amazing. And I just want to know, where are my frogs at? Where are my straw hat pirates at? Where's my mushroom? And my rubber chicken? How many of us have been on a naked bike ride? How many of us have protested here in this park at least 6 times? You know, we all have done so much together. I want to remind us that power is the ability to shape reality for ourselves and others. Power is also organized people and organized money, and what I see around me is power. I also see a group of people that understands the necessity of joy in doing generational work. We cannot sustain ourselves unless we create opportunities to still find joy with one another. We also know that someone with a really thin skin, someone who is a bully, someone who causes harm, who loves to relish in the pain of others, often can't take a joke, often doesn't know how to have a good time. And I feel like in a community of mushrooms and pirates, of people who love gnome coming, shout out to gnome coming, people who love a naked bike ride, they also are the type of people that know that this weather isn't going to stop a good time. So, the party's not over, my friends. I thank you all for being here. This is the last time I'm going to be on the mic, but I get to pass the torch on to Sadie for some dorky dance, and on to DJ Yoko Man to bring us through with a good time. All right, everyone, thanks for being here. Stick around and party and visit those booths. No Kings? No Kings? Yes, Queens? All right, friends, let's have a good time.
Guys in like Andy Dude.